The latest Bloomberg Global M&A Outlook finds that energy and financial services companies may lead a rebound in takeovers next year. Richard Jeanneret is vice chairman for the Americas at Ernst Young. He oversees the firm's transaction advisory services. He says the 2010 winning companies will be those that have the confidence to use their capital to seize opportunities. Mr. Jeanneret, welcome to Bloomberg News. You see these opportunities on the horizon?
Well, thanks for having me. We do. We have seen a nice uptick in deal transactions over the last few months, first couple of months where activity compares favorably to the prior year. And we like to think of the three C's, confidence, cash, and credit. Cash at an all-time high on corporate balance sheets, PEs with lots of dry powder. Clearly a resurgence in confidence and positive signs, although we still have a way to go on the credit front as well.
Jobby's going to say, you know what, with credit still, in the opinion of a lot of people, credit's still too tight. What metrics are you using, or what metrics are you seeing that lead you to believe that 2010 could be a breakout year?
Well, clearly we've seen some improvement in the credit markets. It's been modest, but clearly some good signs in the high yield markets. But we're talking to the leading corporations and PE clients that we work with around the world. We just completed an Ernst Young survey entitled Why Capital Matters, where we surveyed over 500 executives around the globe. And they are optimistic about doing transactions in 2010. More than half of them think they will do a deal in the next 12 to 24 months.
Richard, can you talk more about how the scarcity of capital is impacting deal flow? How is that issue specifically affecting deals, and are buyers able to navigate around that?
Well, there is plenty of capital out there. As I mentioned, cash is at an all-time high on corporate balance sheets. There's dry powder for PEs. The issue's been credit, and clearly that's had an impact on the markets. But we've seen some resurgence. But I think we're also going to see signs of new deal structures. We've seen an uptick in the use of seller financing, joint ventures, some earnouts. So there are creative ways to get deals done for those who have the courage to do the deal.
You keep mentioning dry powder for the PEs. Do they stand to benefit most in the new year?
Well, they are certainly coming off the sidelines. They're more optimistic, and they seem to be very creative and always have been. So I think what we're hearing from our clients is a growing optimism for 2010.
And what about the divestiture deal value in the new year? We're reporting today Ford is selling off Geely. And it's interesting, you know, if you look at the third quarter earnings results, companies met numbers by cost cutting, shedding assets. So is this going to continue to be a trend in the new year, and how strong will that value be?
I think we have seen an uptick in divestitures, and we're encouraged by that. I think that's a sign of corporations looking to grow through acquisition, and they're using divestitures as a way to reposition their balance sheet, to free up capital, to create the kind of currency that they need to grow in the new year. So we're optimistic we'll see more of that activity.
And you're also optimistic you're going to see a lot of smaller deals next year, aren't you?
I think we will see smaller deals.
And by that, we're talking what amount? We're talking about $5 billion?
You know, we've had
it's such a shame that you use the term $5 billion. You think small, but relatively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at volumes this year compared to last year, we've only had about 130 deals with volumes in excess of $1 billion, clearly down from 08 and 09. But I think you will see volumes increase. The optimism we've seen from the corporations that want to do deals is that they will do more deals in 2010. So volumes may be smaller. Values may be smaller, but confidence is growing and volumes are upticking. So I think over time, with some kind of sustained recovery, I think we can get to higher values as well. But I think in the short term, it's probably going to be smaller. Yeah.
We did a survey here at Bloomberg, which found that energy and financial services companies may lead a rebound in takeovers in 2010. What do you think of those industries being the leaders?
Well, there's clearly been blockbuster news in energy. We've seen tremendous news in pharma, continue to have good news there. Healthcare is a big industry, I think, is poised for signs, and high tech, because they're sitting on so much cash and the continued convergence there. So I do think you'll see those industries lead in 2010.
And you guys did your own survey of 500 companies, right? And you found that 25% of businesses said they're likely to make an acquisition in the next 6 months. You think that's realistic? You sound very optimistic.
I do. We have seen clearly an uptick in volume, and the clients that we work, the most sophisticated corporations and PEs, they are more optimistic than they've ever been. They're coming off the sidelines.
We have about a minute left. Talk to me about emerging economies. What are you seeing there?
Well,
and you like Brazil and China, right?
We do. We do. Great news in Brazil. I mean, Brazil is the fifth largest population in the world. The consumer is emerging there. The middle class is growing stronger. It used to be a market for energy and resources. Now we're seeing that with sustained good government fiscal and monetary policy, the fact their banks didn't get in trouble, that there is more optimism, more activity coming into Brazil because of that consumer.
And in about 15 seconds, we see China. Again, China's big footprint in the global economic recovery.
Tremendous opportunity there. The emergence of the consumer and the government trying to create a consumer economy, the good stimulus they put into place, I think inbound activity is up over 75%. So China's going to be a great market next year.
Richard Jeanneret, Vice Chairman of Transaction Advisory Services at Ernst Young Americas. Good to talk to you. Thank you so much. We can have you back next year. Let's get a look first quarter going forward.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.